Again, Maguire with the towering header clear. Leicester can't get out just at the moment. Hughes does well to hold off Jamie Vardy and then chips it towards the Leicester penalty area, cleared by Tielemans. Got it back down by Pereira to Hughes, and this is Troy Deeney. Tried to play in Hughes ahead of him, and Hughes has dispossessed Maguire and then was brought down. Referee plays an advantage. Here's Deeney into the penalty area. Finally the referee pulls it back. Deeney looks perplexed because he still actually had the ball at his feet inside the box when the whistle was blown.
That was a funny one there, wasn't it? Because Will Hughes was fouled by Harry Maguire, and then Deeney looked like he was running up a blind alley, and the referee did give him every chance. Looked like he was running up a blind alley, played on, so then when there was no advantage he blew up, but Deeney somehow managed to wriggle into the box, and then the ref blew up.
So free kick for Watford, who've started this game really well. 5 minutes played already, 0-0 the score. Deulofeu and Holebas are the two Watford players stood over the ball. It's 4 yards in from the left touchline. Schmeichel leant against his near post. My money's on Deulofeu with a right foot this time to try and whip it in at pace towards the 6-yard box. Leicester have got two men in the wall. Here comes Deulofeu, and the flick from Troy Deeney, and Watford off to the dream start. A nightmare for Brendan Rodgers, because with 5 minutes gone, it is Watford 1, Leicester 0. Troy Deeney with his 9th goal of the season. A wicked delivery from Deulofeu. Just needed the faintest of contacts from Deeney to send it spinning beyond Schmeichel and into the net. Watford 1, Leicester 0.
Well, what a start for Watford. Troy Deeney won't be badgering the ref now, will he? It's a wonderful ball in, wonderful ball. In some ways undefendable, too much pace on it. Great ball from Deulofeu. Troy Deeney gets across Wes Morgan, slightest flick, and no chance for Schmeichel as Deeney heads it in from only 3 yards out. Great start for the Hornets.
And not what Brendan Rodgers would have been hoping for. Leicester behind within 5 minutes of the former Celtic manager's bell. Here is Ricardo on the halfway line. They just haven't got started in this game. The former Premier League winners. Here is Maguire. Brendan Rodgers already out on the edge of his technical area. Leicester have a throw which Chilwell will take on the halfway line. The left back for the Foxes. Left wing back, of course, today in this new look system. You mentioned off the air that perhaps Wes Morgan had been selected to try and shackle Troy Deeney. Well, Deeney certainly coming out on top in that particular battle so far. Morgan under pressure here from Deulofeu. Taps it back to his goalkeeper Schmeichel, who faked to play it back to Morgan, then clears upfield. The header from Holebas out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Leicester midway inside their own half. 7 minutes played, 1-0.
Slow start, isn't it, from Leicester? Slow start. Said that they would try and play progressive football. However, it's all very pedestrian at the moment from them. Knocking it around at the back. Morgan, Evans, Maguire. But it's all too slow, and invariably it ends up going back to Schmeichel to kick it. So it's a good start from Watford, however. Pressing high up the pitch, not allowing Leicester to settle.
Yeah, just what Javi Gracia will have demanded from his team. Leicester City conceding the first goal now for their 20th match of the season. Here's Vardy in the penalty area looking for a reply. Trying to scoop it into the path of Harvey Barnes. It was headed clear by Holebas. Then Decore defending on the edge of his own 18-yard box. Here's Hughes down the right for Watford. Out-muscled by Chilwell. And Deeney, though, plays it straight back to Etienne Capoue. Capoue then dispossessing Tielemans. Here's Deeney. He's got Pereira sprinting ahead of him. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, who comes all the way out. Schmeichel to the edge of the D and clears it upfield. Needed to be alert there, Kasper Schmeichel.
He certainly did. I mean, it's a poor ball, isn't it, from Deeney in the end, because he had all the space that, and he's saying sorry to his teammate. He really should have put that on a plate. Poor from Deeney there, to be honest.
Troy Deeney has a bit of previous with Leicester. He scored that famous playoff semi-final goal. Do you remember in stoppage time?
Yes, absolutely.
Was it Leicester missed a penalty at one end,
yeah,
and then Watford immediately broke and scored. That's Troy Deeney's goal after 5 minutes this afternoon that separates these two sides. Watford 1, Leicester 0. You're listening to Premier League Live. Don't forget the Twitter poll. Who is the bigger club? Leicester or Celtic, of course, whom Brendan Rodgers controversially ditched to take over at the King Power Stadium. You can find that Twitter poll on my Twitter page, Alex_Crook, or indeed via the TalkSport Live Twitter at TalkSport Live. I'll update you throughout the course of the afternoon. It's very tight. Last I looked, 56% say Celtic, 44% for Leicester. Grazia watches on from his technical area, and he gives too much away in terms of his facial expressions, but I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted with the way that Watford have started this game. They've already got more points after 28 matches than in any of their previous Premier League campaigns. They are 8th in the table at present. Only twice in their history they finished in the top half, in the top flight. That was back in 1983 and 1987, in the Graham Taylor years, of course. Here is Ricardo, well forward for Leicester, just on the edge of the penalty area. Low ball into the box, Barnes tries to keep it alive. Foster was off his line. Barnes looking for Vardy on the cutback. It's cleared off as far as Tielemans, who shoots, blocked by Decore. Headed back into the box by Ndidi, though. Maddison's cross loops up in the air off Cathcart, then he's volleyed away by Capoue. Best spell of the game so far from Leicester. Ricardo floats it into the area. Vardy leaps, beaten in the air by Mariappa, and it's tapped clear by Janmaat to Decore. He used the pace of Deulofeu. Morgan slides in though and comes away with the ball and then plays it forward. Little flick from Vardy into Barnes. He's got Maddison in support. Barnes into the area, onto his left foot, forced wide by Cathcart, but he's pulled it back for Vardy. Bounces off Tielemans and cleared away once more by Etienne Capoue.
Best couple of minutes of the game so far for Leicester, keeping Watford in, bedding them in. It was a good chance for Barnes there, wasn't it? Just couldn't shift it onto his left foot completely. And he plays a little ball between the two defenders that Vardy quite can't get onto.
11 minutes play, Watford 1, Leicester 0. Here is Barnes, back to Ndidi, dispossessed by Deeney, the goal scorer, plays it up toward the halfway line. Morgan there ahead of Deulofeu, and here's Janmaat facing his own goal and being put under pressure by Vardy. Manages to keep the ball in play and clears it up to Deeney. Looking for Deulofeu, who made a good run down the right-hand side, but it was intercepted again by Morgan, and then Leicester have passed it straight back to Foster, the goalkeeper.
A bit more promising from Leicester now, though. Getting hold of the ball, getting Maddison on it, getting Barnes on it.
Trying to press Watford much higher up the field. After pretty lethargic opening 5 or 6 minutes, punished by that goal from Deeney, his 9th for the season.
They just didn't get out of the blocks, did they? 5-6 minutes, concerted pressure from the home team. They couldn't get out, and it resulted in a goal.
Brendan Rodgers frantically scribbling on a notepad. Down below us is Leicester team trailing by that Deeney goal to 0. We've played 12 minutes. A reminder coming up later, Scott Parker's first match in charge of his beloved Fulham. They're at home to Chelsea. And then the Merseyside derby, Liverpool need all 3 points to go back to the top of the table as they face Everton at Goodison Park. What a weekend it's been already in the Premier League. Mistake by Mariappa, allowing Vardy in, and Jamie Vardy goes to the floor. It's going to be a yellow card here for Mariappa.
It's fortunate. I think Mariappa is fortunate there. The reason being, yes, Cathcart got round, but I think Vardy is away. And the only thing that saves Mariappa there is the distance from goal. Would Cathcart have caught Vardy? I think not.
Vardy was appealing for the red card, but it's just a booking for Mariappa. But a free kick here for Leicester in a promising position. Chilwell and Maddison can both deliver from this kind of position. Johnny Evans, who scored, of course, in Claude Puel's last game against Crystal Palace, has come forward. So too has Big Wes Morgan. Long time since he scored in the Premier League. Lovely ball from Maddison, looking for the run of Vardy. He's been clattered by Foster. Vardy goes down holding his face. Foster also stricken on the turf. I think it was a genuine attempt by both players to play the ball.
Oh, that's a sickening collision. That is a sickening collision.
And Foster's got a huge gash on his chin.
He has. I mean, when two players hit each other at that pace, it's not going to be pleasant. And so it seems both players look in a little bit of trouble here. You can just hope that they're both all right, because it was a sickening collision, wasn't it?
And they're both being treated. Brendan Rodgers looks a little concerned as he calls Harry Maguire over to relay some instructions. Ben Foster still down on his back.
I mean, it's a great ball, isn't it? It's a great ball. Watford really high line, don't drop. In fact, Vardy looks offside. He's got his eyes on the ball, so has Foster, and that's a horrible collision. You just hope both players are okay.
Well, a stretcher is on the pitch, hopefully as a precautionary measure. Foster is just having a bandage applied to that wound on his chin. Jamie Vardy is sat up right now. Foster still lying on his back. 15 minutes gone here. Watford 1, Leicester City 0 is the score. The goal, a header from Troy Deeney after only 5 minutes.
Well, they've both got blood coming from facial injuries at the moment.
Foster looks really groggy, doesn't he?
Yeah, Jamie Vardy sitting up, seemingly okay. Ben Foster still lying on the ground, as you say. He's got a nasty gash under his chin.
The referee keeping a close eye as treatment is administered. Let's have a look at some of the tweets you've been sending at TalkSport Live. Papa says, how can you leave Champions League football for a bottom half team? Can't understand. Listening on City FM in Ghana. Of course, that in answer to the question, who's the bigger club, Celtic or Leicester? Celtic the bigger club, Leicester in the bigger league, Leicester the more challenging job. I imagine it's great to be at Celtic, but it must get pretty boring pretty quickly.
That's a great tweet. I think that hits the nail on the head, really.
And Footy Jab says, what a bad start for Rodgers as Leicester City's new gaffer. The team not looking convincing. Young Blood says, hoping for at least a goal from Delafeu to add to his assist, and a Watford clean sheet for my fantasy Premier League team. I have got Ben Foster as my goalkeeper, so I have extra special reason. I hope he will be able to continue, and he's back on his feet now, Foster, all in red.
Looks like Vardy may have lost a tooth there, to be honest.
Maybe that explains the gash.
In his top set.
I'm sure Mrs. Vardy will have something to say about that.
I'm sure she will. She's never backwards and coming forwards, is she?
Jamie Vardy back on the pitch, so both teams back to their full quota. We played 17 minutes, 1-0 Watford lead. For those of you just tuning in, Troy Deeney with a header from a Delafeu free kick on 5 minutes. Here is Wes Morgan, restored to the Leicester team by Brendan Rodgers this afternoon, having not been picked much by Claude Puel this season. Here is Ricardo, plays it down the line, looking for Madison. Sliding in was Holebas, the left back. It's a throw in now for Leicester, which Ricardo will take on this near right hand side. The former Portuguese title winner with Porto. Ricardo clips it over the head of Holebas for Madison. It makes such a difference, you know. Jose Holebas missed the last 2 matches through suspension. Didn't play in that 5-0 demolition job at Anfield. He's a decent defender, but very decent coming forward as well on that left hand side, and a wicked set piece taker.
Well, he's already proved that, hasn't he? He nearly set up a goal for Mariappa with that wicked in-swinging free kick.
Here's Ricardo now, cutting in from the right hand side, chips it into the area, left footed. Chilwell across the box looking for Barnes. Turn behind by Barnes, off balance at the near post. It was a good idea from Chilwell.
It's much better from Leicester. Last 7 or 8 minutes been much better. Ricardo cutting inside there, the right wing back. Lovely little ball. He's found his opposite number, his left wing back. Chilwell puts in a good ball. He just gets there a bit early, doesn't he? Barnes, and it goes into the stand. But it's looking a lot more promising now from the away side.
Harvey Barnes spent the first half of the season on loan at West Bromwich Albion in the Championship, scored 9 goals for the Baggies before being recalled by Claude Puel in January, the 21-year-old. Looks a bright talent. There's lots of young players in this Leicester City side that Brendan Rodgers has inherited. Maddison, of course, a summer signing from Norwich. Chilwell, Maguire as well. Certainly plenty of building blocks for the future. Ben Foster clears into the stand on this near side.
Absolutely.
It's a good job, isn't it? Well, it's not looking that way at the moment. They're 1-0 down, Leicester, here at Vicarage Road. The last two Premier League meetings between these two, the Foxes, by 2-0. No repeat of that scoreline this afternoon. Here is Johnny Evans, just inside his own half on the right-hand side, goes back to Morgan in the middle of that back three alongside Evans and Maguire. Maguire stretching those long legs and coming well forward into the Watford half. He's got Chilwell ahead of him. Two England internationals linking up neatly. Chilwell trying to shepherd the ball down by the corner flag, but forced to knock it out for a throw by Hughes. Well, Hughes has been one of the unsung heroes for Watford this season. This is his 23rd start in the Premier League, only 11 in the whole of the last campaign.
Hughes, I like him.
Here's Maguire now for Leicester. Into the feet of Maddison, who with his back to goal rolls it into the path of Ricardo. Now Tielemans back out to Ricardo down the right hand side. Barnes has come across to this near touchline, plays it back into the feet of the Belgian Tielemans. Now Morgan just inside the centre circle, inside the Watford half of the field, and Didi side-foots it into the stride of Maddison. Here is Tielemans now, trying to play it through the lines, looking for Barnes, who is quick but not that quick, can't keep it in play. Goal kick for Watford, who lead 1-0.
It's unfortunate. Leicester having the lion's share of possession now, and actually looking without having too many attempts or getting into the box too many times. They're looking the better side, they're looking the more convincing with the football. And if you're a Leicester fan, I wouldn't start worrying just yet, because they're very easy on the eye with the way they're playing.
Very subdued atmosphere inside Vicarage Road. Could be the kick-off time, midday on a Sunday, on a cold, wet and windy afternoon.
A few hangovers being nursed, no doubt, as well.
It's just you and me in the commentary box.
That's it.
Here's Chilwell now. Plays it into the feet of Maddison, trying to escape the clutches of Capoue. He's gone to ground, so a free kick for Leicester. Maddison feeling the force of that one on his right thigh. Capoue offering an apologetic arm to try and help Maddison back to his feet. Clumsy rather than malicious from the former Tottenham man.
It's a foul, but that's all, isn't it? You're not going to get a yellow card for that.
Free kick looking for Chilwell on the left hand side, straight out of play. Throw in for Watford, level with their own penalty area.
It's the second time Harry Maguire and Chilwell not really been on the same page. We've had a few words with each other already.
I suppose the disappointment for Javi Grazzi would be that Watford haven't really kicked on since the goal.
Yeah,
they've retreated into their shell somewhat after a promising start.
Promising 6-7 minutes, wasn't it? Apart from that, it's the away side that have looked the more accomplished.
Midway point of the first half, Watford 1, Leicester 0. Leicester continuing their poor record in the first 15 minutes of games. They've only scored 2 goals in the opening 15 minutes over the course of the season. Not able to add to that tally in this one, as Ben Foster with the red boots takes the free kick upfield for Watford. Deeney can't hold it up, and then Maddison plays it out to the left hand side, and Chilwell trying to stretch the fullback Janmaat, coming infield Chilwell, then takes on Janmaat with the ball nicked off his toe. Hughes trying to bring it forward towards the halfway line, hurdles the challenge from Tielemans, then scoops it forward, but it's headed away by Morgan. Capoue, first time pass over the top, Deeney was onside, and a chance to cross here. Capoue arriving in the middle, great bit of defending from Johnny Evans just to smuggle the ball clear before it's hacked away by Morgan.
Looked offside, Deeney there, but the linesman kept his flag down. It's a terrific ball into the box as well. Good defending from Leicester.
Here's Roberto Pereira down the left hand side. His season off to a flying start, Pereira. Only one goal in his last 16 matches though for the Argentine. Just gone off the ball somewhat. Here is Mariappa, the Hornets stalwart. Cathcart trots up towards the halfway line. Leicester, with everybody bar Jamie Vardy, back behind the ball inside their own half. They trail 1-0. Here is Pereira trying to feed it through for Deeney, intercepted by Ndidi. And sliding in was Holebas to stop Barnes in his tracks down this right hand side. Holebas coming forward, but showed too much of that to Ricardo, the fullback, out for a Watford throw.
That spell from the home team now.
Yeah, and the fans have reacted to that. The noise levels inside Vicarage Road have increased noticeably. Holebas to take the throw. Here is Decore out to the right hand side, and Yanmak all the way back to Mariappa inside his own half. Good spell of possession this from Watford, but not really going anywhere. Capoue into the centre back Cathcart. Now Holebas towards the halfway line, comes in field for Capoue. There's lots of space for Yanmak on the right. It's floated into the Dutchman's path. Good cross into the area. Evans with a flying header clear. Gore did well to get there ahead of Madison to the loose ball, back into the feet of Pereira, backheels it straight out of play. Goal kick for Leicester. Not sure what he was thinking there, Pereira.
Bit of a waste, wasn't it? But as you say, crowd getting behind the Hornets now. Good little spell for them. Good spell of possession.
Too many empty seats inside Vicarage Road. Almost a throwback stadium, 4 distinct separate stands. Done lots of renovation work actually since they returned to the Premier League a few seasons ago. Watford, one of the stands, ironically one where the media were housed, was declared derelict for a number of years.
Yeah, been in that one.
Here is Decore towards the penalty area. Yanmak with a cross, looking for Pereira at the far stick over his head, and behind for a goal kick for Leicester, but certainly Watford back on the front foot.
Yeah, unlucky. Good ball from Yanmak. I think he just got caught on the wind. Sails out of play for a goal kick.
Looks very different with a shaven head, doesn't he?
He does.
The former Newcastle defender, making his 8th start in a row. Very settled side now for Javi Gracia to have injury problems at the midway point of the season, but they seem to have eased as Maguire is forced to play it all the way across his own 18-yard box. Johnny Evans heading it clear in the end, had to improvise, the Northern Irishman, and to throw in for Watford, which Holebas will take.
I mean, there's playing good football and wanting to play out from the back, but that was ridiculous. They could have quite easily got caught on the ball there. That is overplaying. Schmeichel, Maguire, it's just overplaying. There's a time and a place, and that was neither.
Here is Mariappa for Watford, 27 minutes play. Watford 1, Brendan Rodgers, Leicester 0. Is Abdoulaye Decore brings it down inside his own half and then glides away from Vardy. Yanmak into the feet of Delafeu. Now Etienne Capoue for Watford, looking for Pereira. Evans slides it and wins it back, but then it's played by Ndidi out to the right. Barnes can't get the ball out from under his feet though, and hard work from Deeney to win it back inside his own half. Here he is, Deeney, the goal scorer, wearing the captain's armband on his left bicep. That's an impressive biceps, Troy Deeney, doesn't he? Yeah. He spends more time in the gym than me. Here is Decore inside the centre circle. Out to Yanmak down the right. Pereira with first time ball into the run of Yanmak. Morgan steps in ahead of Deeney to arrest for possession back to Leicester City. Maguire goes back for Schmeichel, who is comfortable with the ball at his feet. Plays it short this time to Evans on the edge of the area. Now Ndidi takes over. Midway inside his own half of the field. Slowly comes forward, then floats it out to the left to Chilwell. Plucks it neatly from the Hertfordshire sky. Tillemans now, the man on loan from Monaco, out to Ricardo down the right. Yuri Tillemans, Claude Puel's final signing as Leicester City manager. Here's Morgan on the halfway line. Watford pretty comfortable at the moment. Sat deep, everybody back behind the ball. This is Ricardo in the right wing position, into Ndidi in the centre. Tillemans turning away from Delafeu, but again forced back to Morgan on the halfway line, and then Morgan into the feet of Maguire. Clearly, Brendan Rodgers wants those three central defenders to play the ball out from the back. Evans tries to do that into Ricardo, messes up the pass, and it's a throw in for Watford.
They were going nowhere, was they? They were going nowhere fast. Leicester, good shape from Watford, defending, sitting in.
Antonio Conte amongst the interested observers in the stands at Vicarage Road this afternoon, the former Chelsea manager.
He'll just be taking in as many games as he can, I would imagine, getting his face out there, reminding people that he's still here.
Here is Adrian Mariappa, the Jamaican international for Watford. Out to the right, Nyama. Decore now in the bright yellow boots. Sells a dummy to Barnes, then strokes the ball out to the left, and Capu asks too much of Holibas, who slips on the sodden surface, and it's out now for a Leicester City throw with half an hour played. 1-0 the Hornets lead. Troy Deeney with a header on 5 minutes. Not been too many opportunities, Kevin Watson, since then to add to the scoring.
No, there hasn't. Surprising, really. Both teams at the moment, the last 5 or 6 minutes, have been incredibly loose with the ball. Passing, going astray, touches letting players down.
Here is Holibas down the left for Watford. Into Deeney, rolls it first time forward for Pereira. Back to Holibas, who again just off balance as he tried to switch the play out to Jan Matt. That allows Chilwell to step in and win the header. Here's Maddison now. Behind indeed, he is straight to Troy Deeney. Here's Delafeu. In full flight here, Delafeu. Good challenge by Ndidi, sliding in on the edge of the box to help the ball back to his goalkeeper, Schmeichel.
He's unlucky there, Delafeu. Loads and loads of passing going on. He decides to try and affect the game by going on a dribble, trying to wriggle his way into the box, do something different. It's a good tackle in the end.
Had a terrific game, didn't he, up at the Cardiff City Stadium a couple of weeks ago. 3 goals and an assist. He's a wonderful player to watch, the former Barcelona man. It was his cross, headed in by Deeney, that separates these two sides. Watford 1, Leicester City 0 is the score. Reminder coming up later, Fulham against Chelsea in the company of Andrew Self and Rufus Brevitt, the former Fulham defender. That's followed by Everton against Liverpool, John Anderson and Alan McLaughlin, the ex-Republic of Ireland midfielder, your commentary team for that one. 14 minutes to go here in the company of Alex Crook and Kevin Watson. Watford 1, Leicester 0. Kev, just give us an insight, because of course you at the moment are assistant manager at a non-league club. The nerves that Brendan Rodgers will have been feeling ahead of his first game.
Oh, most certainly, yeah. They obviously got the win last week when he sat in the stands, but he wouldn't have classed himself as in charge for that game. So he would have come here, he'd be desperate for a good performance, desperate to get off to a flying start. And at the minute, it's not panning out like that. However, there is a long way to go, and he'll get them in at half-time.
Delafeu with a shot from the edge of the area. Tame one into the arms of Schmeichel.
He'll get him in at half-time. I would have thought he'd be saying, you know, we're doing okay with the ball. We just need to move it a lot quicker than what we are. Because at the moment, they're allowing Watford to get back into their shape. Watford are defending deep, and they can't find the holes to play through them. They're doing okay. They're passing the ball. They've probably had more of the possession. But it's not hurting Watford at all.
Conceding goals has been a problem for Leicester of late. 8 matches now without a clean sheet in the Premier League. That's their worst run in a couple of seasons. That will be something that I'm sure Brendan Rodgers will be looking to address. They do have a pretty kind-looking run of fixtures in the next few weeks, Leicester City, because Claude Puel will tell you that over the December-January period, he got most of their more difficult matches out of the way. They have Fulham at home next weekend. Fulham, of course, second from bottom in the table. Then Burnley away, Bournemouth at home, Huddersfield away, Newcastle at home. So plenty of opportunity for Brendan Rodgers to pick up points in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will pick up points. He's a good manager, Brendan.
Offside flag up against Delafeu.
He will. I'm pretty sure he will get a tune out of these players. They've got good players, Leicester.
Is it a bit of a myth, this new manager bounce? Does it actually happen very often, or more often than not do managers make a slow start and take a bit of time to find their groove?
I think human nature says that if one manager leaves, invariably it's because the team's not doing very well, and another one comes in and subconsciously you start afresh and you want to impress him, you want to stay in the team, and there is that initial period where he might not know you and you need to stay in that team.
Here's Ricardo. We're going to stay in the game here. Crosses from the right hand side, down behind by Adrian Mariappa. Good defending from him.
That's better, much quicker, wasn't it? Much quicker. Little 1-2. Olivas doesn't stay with his runner.
It's behind for a corner. It's Leicester's first corner of the afternoon. Morgan and Maguire and Evans have all come forward. Chilwell just loitering on the edge of the box. Plenty of blue shirts to aim at. Delafeu in conversation with John Moss, the referee. Maddison with the right-footed delivery. It's a good ball in. Maguire heads it forward, appeals for handball. Cleared away by Pereira. John Moss unmoved, and it's picked up by Ricardo, who's going to go back to Kasper Schmeichel inside his own penalty area.
It might well have been handball, but you're never going to get a decision like that. Heading it point blank range. Harry Maguire goes up. Yeah, you're not going to get... I mean, Mariappa's not even looking at the ball. He's facing the other way and it hits him on the arm.
Only really Maguire appealing in terms of the Leicester City players. Here is Ricardo. It's a lovely take as Schmeichel launched the ball long upfield. Here's Tillemans on halfway. Barnes away from Hughes and then back to Maguire inside the Leicester half of the field. Here's Tillemans once more into the feet of Maddison, who was fouled by Capoue. Felt the force of that on the ankle. It's a free kick for Leicester City midway inside the Watford half of the field.
Lovely little ball from Tillemans there.
He's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah,
cultured footballer.
He is. Just in behind the central two of Watford. Good take from Maddison, and he draws a foul.
Well, the rumours were that Youri Tillemans would be joining Newcastle on loan on transfer deadline day. Then all of a sudden, pictures appeared on social media of him in a Watford tracksuit. Oh, sorry, Leicester tracksuit, I should say. It's going to be Maddison to take this free kick. Chilwell in close proximity as well, coming in from the right hand side. The left foot may well be Chilwell. He steps over the ball, back heel to Maddison, floats it forward looking for Maguire. No real pace on the pass though, and it's cleared away by Mariappa. One back by Tillemans, 15 yards inside the Watford half. 1-0 Watford lead. Here's Maddison now. Maguire has stayed forward, goes back to the halfway line, and Evans. Once again, Watford well organised. 2 back to 4 behind the ball.
Yeah.
Deeney and Delafeu furthest forward.
They're not in any rush, are they, to go and press the ball? Deeney, Delafeu. And they are now forcing them backwards, time and a place. It's good from Deeney, Delafeu. Now they're high up the pitch.
Schmeichel again goes long for Leicester, over the head of Vardy. Cathcart nods it back into the Leicester half. Decore forward for Hughes, who tries to control on the chest. Loose ball breaks kindly for Decore inside the centre circle. Now Olivas forward for Pereira, looking for the first time ball forward for Deeney, and then Pereira trying to win it back off Ricardo has fouled the full-back. Free kick for Leicester, 5 yards inside their own half. Leicester have lost 6 of their last 8 in all competitions, including that humiliating FA Cup defeat at Newport County. It was really the beginning of the end for Claude Puel. Left out Jamie Vardy that afternoon. They never really recovered, Leicester, from that loss.
Bizarre decision. Why would you leave someone like Jamie Vardy out your team? Don't get that.
Especially when they were sat comfortably in the Premier League. No danger of going down. Here is Ricardo. Infield for Barnes as he roll across his body. Cleverly done, but can't quite find Maddison. He wins it back though. Barnes gets his shot away, deflected, and Leicester have their second corner in the last few minutes.
Yeah, well played. Well played from Barnes there, trying to get a little 1-2. It inadvertently gets it off of a Watford defender, comes back, shifts it onto his left foot, and it's deflected. And Leicester have another corner out on this left-hand side.
Yeah, it's going to be taken by Maddison. Morgan, Evans and Maguire again in a cluster of blue shirts around the penalty spot. Do seem to have the slight edge in the air, Leicester. Some big players. Maddison with the ball in. Good header away by Capoue. And Tillemans, I think, was trying to shoot there. He's managed to guide it back out to Maddison, having taken the corner. Maddison's crossed towards the far post. Brilliant header, facing his own goal from Mariappa. Out for a throw.
That would have been extremely unfortunate if that had gone in. Look at that. Tillemans trying to have a shot. Smashes it straight back out to Maddison. That's a wicked ball in. It's good defending from Mariappa. Brilliant defending.
An excellent game. The veteran central defender. Ricardo will take the throw down by the right corner flag. Gets it back from Tillemans. Ricardo trying to back through the legs of Deeney. Closes the door. It will be another throw.
Pretty sure Brendan Rodgers managed Mariappa at Reading.
Yeah, he did.
He did, yeah.
We know all about his defensive capabilities. Had a good career at Mariappa in a quiet sort of way.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's been a good defender, isn't he? Good servant to the game.
Cleared by Cathcart. Nice bloke by all accounts as well. Here's Madison now. Recycles possession out to the right. Ricardo gives it back to Madison, but the pass is slightly behind him. Madison on the retreat. Field for Morgan on the halfway line. Maguire now floats it over towards Ricardo. Pereira didn't really clear it away. Ricardo into the area. Ball runs out, and it will be a goal kick for Watford. With 6 minutes to go this first half, they lead 1-0.
It was already out, wasn't it? Leicester appealing for a corner. It was already out when Foster slid with it behind the line.
Don't forget, the best way to look ahead to a Premier League weekend is by subscribing to TalkSport's Premier League Preview Show podcast. That's available every Thursday. Tom Rennie and various former Premier League players, including our own Kevin Watson, giving their expert analysis heading into the weekend action. Here is Ndidi being put under pressure by Deeney and Pereira inside his own half. He's given it away to Decore, wins it back to Ndidi. Played every single Premier League game for Leicester this season, Wilfred Ndidi. Schmeichel out to Chilwell. Chilwell coming across on the left-hand side into the centre of the park. Forward for Madison. Madison away from Olivas. And then forward for Jamie Vardy on the edge of the penalty area. Needs a bit of support, Vardy. Tried to cross it for Barnes. Headed away again by Mariappa. There's a bit of foot wrong in this first half, Adrian Mariappa. And then Capoue theatrically goes down under the outstretched limb of Chilwell. It is a free kick for Watford.
Leicester look much better when they play at a higher tempo. There it was Chilwell breaking forward into Madison. He drives forward, ball slightly behind Jamie Vardy, but that's how they've got to play. They've got to play quicker. They've got to commit players, run at them instead of just pass, which isn't affecting Watford's shape in general at the moment.
Ben Foster will take the free kick for Watford, deep inside their own half. Left-footed ball upfield towards the penalty area. Evans taking the responsibility and a good clearance as well. Tillemans out to Chilwell, urged forward by the travelling Leicester fans. Chilwell into the Watford half, but dispossessed by Hughes. Now Daryl Janmaat looks up and plays it down the right-hand side for Delafeu. It's a lovely ball. Delafeu trying to outmanoeuvre Maguire, who just stood up strong and ushered the ball behind for a goal kick.
Little V large there. I would imagine that's trying to run around the side of a house. Harry Maguire, Delafeu, good skill, but look at that, just edges him out. You're not going anywhere today, mate, he says to him as he tries to get round him. Delafeu knew he wasn't going to get round him.
Harry Maguire heavily linked with the move to Manchester United after his heroics for England at the World Cup final. Signed a new contract though at the King Power Stadium. He will very much be one of the players around which Brendan Rodgers will build his Leicester blueprint. Here is Maguire out to Chilwell on that left-hand side. Barnes gives it away, but one back, and now with Morgan on the edge of the centre circle. Here's Johnny Evans.
It's a better period for Leicester. They're moving the ball quicker. I'm sure Brendan would like a goal before half-time to go in on level terms.
Yeah, Watford defending well so far. Not too much for Ben Foster to have to do in that Watford goal. Here is Ricardo. Knocks it into Morgan on the halfway line. Madison back to Morgan. And now Harry Maguire. Deep inside the Watford half of the field, into the feet of Vardy, rolls it out to Chilwell. Madison's made a good run on the overlap. Chilwell comes infield before eventually finding Madison on that far side. Again, Watford very well drilled. And Leicester for the moment unable to pick their way through. They've gone all the way back to Morgan inside the centre circle. Just got the total number of passes in front of us. Watford 176 to 239 of Leicester. Pretty even there. I was at Bournemouth yesterday, Kev. 37 minutes into the game, Bournemouth 70 completed passes, Manchester City 345.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? They're just relentless, Manchester City. if they want to keep the ball from you, they'll keep the ball from you. Technically brilliant, and it's not just for effect. I mean, there is normally an end product as well.
Just looking for an end product here as Ricardo tries to link up with Barnes, cleared to the halfway line. Morgan heads it back into the Watford half. Indeed, not quite on his toes, but still manages to shepherd the ball away from Decore. And then a poor pass from Maguire, which is intercepted by Hughes, dragged to the ground under the challenge of Chilwell. It's going to be a free kick for Watford midway inside their own half. We have 80 seconds of the half remaining. It's Watford 1, Leicester 0. Deeney with a goal after 5 minutes. Brendan Rodgers busy planning for his first half-time team talks alongside Kolo Touré, the former Manchester City defender, part of Rodgers' backroom staff, followed him from Celtic, where he won 7 major trophies, Brendan Rodgers, including the double treble, of course. Is it a surprise to you, Kev, that he didn't just see out the season at Celtic and then take up the reins at Leicester at the start of next season?
Yeah, it does surprise me, but then would that job have been gone? I don't know. He obviously craved a return to the Premier League to challenge himself. As soon as that come up, he's jumped ship, as it was. But yeah, a little bit disappointing. I can see where Celtic fans are coming from with their disappointment that he's left. However, I believe that, you know, they were going to win the league regardless.
Neil Lennon, the interim charge there. Here's Pereira into the feet of Deeney, the goal scorer in the penalty area. Can't get it out from under his feet quickly enough. He was crowded out by 3 Leicester players, and it's cleared by Ricardo. Deeney tosses Ricardo to the ground. No free kick, according to John Moss, the referee. Here's Capoue now, out to the right, and Daryl Yatmat. Just the 2 added minutes to the end of the first half, with Watford leading by that early Deeney goal to nil. Here is Abdoulaye Decore for Watford, forward into the Leicester half. Pereira with the streak of blonde hair, wearing gloves as he accelerates towards the penalty area. Out to the left, and Holibas, who can deliver from this kind of position towards the far post, but curled behind for a goal kick for Leicester in front of their travelling supporters.
They've done really well in the middle of the park, Watford, Decore and Capoue. They've bossed Tielemans and Ndidi for the majority of the half, not just with the ball but without the ball, and their physicality getting around the Leicester players. They've done really well in that.
Yeah, it's been a decent battle in that midfield area, so often the key battleground. Here is Hughes for Watford, side footed to Decore. Hughes clips it over the halfway line. Deeney with a return ball, lovely interplay. Hughes coming forward, and Pereira's in acres of space to his left. He's found Pereira, trying to take on Ricardo and shift the ball onto his right foot. Tees it up for Hughes instead. Leicester did well. Tielemans grappling back possession, and it's play forward towards Jamie Vardy. Cathcart with a header calmly into the arms of Ben Foster on the edge of the penalty area. Here is Holibas now into the final 20 seconds of 2 added minutes. It's Yatmat in possession over on the right hand side. Cathcart deep inside his own half for Watford, content just to run down the clock at the end of this first half, and there is the half-time whistle. Well, not the start so far that Brendan Rodgers would have been hoping for his Leicester City career. Troy Deeney with the only goal after 5 minutes, a header from a wicked free kick delivery from Gerard Deulofeu, his strike partner. Jamie Vardy may have lost a tooth after a collision with Ben Foster, the Watford goalkeeper. Fitting, because Leicester have been pretty toothless themselves so far. Half-time at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Leicester City 0. You are listening to Premier League Live.
The Premier League preview show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the preview show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway. Here's the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2.
Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance! Vardy goal! Leicester City, out of nowhere, have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half-time at Vicarage Road. And if Brendan Rodgers thought life as Leicester City manager was going to be a walk in the park, he was brought crashing down to earth after only 5 minutes. Here is Holibas with a left-footed delivery. It's a good ball in. Morgan heads it half away. Shot from Mariappa, saved by Schmeichel. And then the follow-up from Deulofeu, who turned wide. Where's Morgan with the heroic block?
That's why you don't give away free kicks in wide areas.
Well, he backed down by Pereira, 2 Hughes, and this is Troy Deeney. Trying to play in Hughes ahead of him, and Hughes has dispossessed Maguire and then was brought down. Referee plays an advantage. Here's Deeney into the penalty area. Finally, the referee pulls it back. Deeney looks perplexed because he still actually had the ball at his feet inside the box when the whistle was blown. Deulofeu and Holibas are the 2 Watford players stood over the ball. It's 4 yards in from the left touchline. Schmeichel leant against his near post. Here comes Deulofeu and the flick from Troy Deeney. And Watford off to the dream start. A nightmare for Brendan Rodgers because with 5 minutes gone, it is Watford 1, Leicester 0. Troy Deeney with his 9th goal of the season. A wicked delivery from Deulofeu. Just needed the faintest of contacts from Deeney to send it spinning beyond Schmeichel and into the net. Watford 1, Leicester 0.
Well, what a start for Watford. Troy Deeney won't be badgering the ref now, will he? It's a wonderful ball in. Wonderful ball. In some ways undefendable. Too much pace on it. Great ball from Deulofeu. Troy Deeney gets across Wes Morgan. Slightest flick. And no chance for Schmeichel. As Deeney heads it in from only 3 yards out. Great start for the Hornets.
Yeah, so a sting in the towel as far as Brendan Rodgers is concerned. The Hornets 1-0 up at half-time. Kev, what's a pretty good value for that lead?
I think so, yeah. There's not been much in the game. Really good start from the home side, getting the goal. They could have scored before that, of course. And then Leicester probably had more possession of the football. Not really created a lot. It's all been too slow. A couple of half chances, but that's about it. You'd say that on the break, Watford are probably the more threatening and value for their 1-0 lead.
What will Brendan Rodgers be saying during his first half-time team talk as Leicester manager?
Well, they've not played bad. They just started slowly, didn't they? I think he'll be saying you've got to move the ball quicker. You've got to commit defenders when you're getting high up the pitch. It's all pass in front of Watford. Someone's got to do something, take the ball by the horns, run at defenders. You're not going to affect people, just keep playing in front of them all the time. So I think he'll want the ball moved a lot quicker than what they have.
And in terms of options from the bench, Kelechi Iheanacho, Demarai Gray probably the more likely to come on. He's made 58 substitute Premier League appearances since his debut. Only Olivier Giroud has made more during that time. Rashid Ghazal as well as an attacking option perhaps for Brendan?
Yeah, I think so. I think Gray or Iheanacho will be the first one if they need a goal, which might lead to a change of formation. I wouldn't imagine Jamie Vardy would go off. It probably would be Barnes or Maddison if they're going to continue to play that way with two advanced to the top of the pitch. I wouldn't say there's an immediate rush. I think he'll probably see how they start the second half and give it 15 or 20 minutes.
News of that Twitter poll, who are the bigger club, Leicester, who Brendan Rodgers is taking charge of for the first time this afternoon, or Celtic, the club he left to take up the reins at the King Power? Lots of you getting involved. 57% say Celtic, 43% Leicester. Do keep voting, you find that poll also on the TalkSport Live Twitter page, at TalkSport Live. Still hoping for Leicester to win under their new manager. That's from Abedari. Leicester City to win by 2-1 is his prediction via at TalkSport Live. Watford v Leicester is a typical championship game. Watford aren't going to drop points today. As a Nigerian fan, I really feel for Iheanacho always being kept on the bench. Sure that you can be too sympathetic. He's not scored, Kelechi Iheanacho, in his last 22 matches. Celtic may be a bigger club compared to Leicester, but the glamour of the Premier League brought Brendan Rodgers back. That's from Ifena in Port Harcourt. At TalkSport Live is our Twitter address. This is the first of 3 games we're bringing you today. Everton, Liverpool to come later. Fulham against Chelsea is the meat in the middle of the sandwich, if you like. Let's hear from the two managers then, Maurizio Sarri and Scott Parker, the interim manager at Fulham.
It's a big opportunity for me, obviously. At the same time, I think I understand the role, I understand what's needed, and probably my main focus at this present moment in time is a football club, the team, and ultimately trying to pick up some results along the way. And I'm not silly to think that obviously I'm in a position here where at this present moment in time as caretaker, I look at someone like a Darren Moore who's obviously done exceptionally well. But like I said, and I don't want to keep repeating myself or feel like it's the go-to thing, but it's the truth. And the truth is, at this present moment in time, all I can focus on is the games ahead.
There is a change of the coach. There is a reaction. Then it's very difficult for us to prepare the match because we don't know the new system, the new ideas. So it's a very difficult match, I think.
Yeah, Scott Parker and Maurizio Sarri looking ahead to Fulham against Chelsea, that West London derby. Kick-off at 2:05 after he brought you the second half of Watford 1, Leicester City 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much. Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million Predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million Predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends a shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. Liverpool, and just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester.
Vardy chance! Vardy goal! Leicester City, out of nowhere, have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
He's put down the dumbbells and has turned up here for the show. Chris Uelemo is on the preview show. A Premier League winner, Paul Parker, joins us on the Premier League Preview Show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Watford against Leicester from Vicarage Road. I'm your host, Alex Crook. Alongside me is the former Tottenham midfielder, Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. Watford leading by goal-0. Troy Deeney with a header on 5 minutes at half-time. But, Kev Watson, Leicester have won 13 points from losing positions this season. Will that be a stat that Javi Gracia will be aware of?
I'm pretty sure he will be, and if he wasn't, his analysts will have let him know. As I say, Leicester are nowhere near out of this game. It's only a 1-0 deficit. Brendan will try and put his stamp on a really good half-time team talk. They just need to move the ball quicker, don't they, Leicester? They've hardly created a chance. They've had a lot of the ball. Will he change anything? I don't think so immediately at half-time. He'll probably give it 15 or 20 minutes and then maybe even change the shape.
Big game this for Watford in many ways, because their next two in the league, Manchester City away and then Manchester United away.
Big games, aren't they? They're big games, so they need to pick up points now before they go into those two very difficult fixtures.
They do have Crystal Palace at home in the FA Cup quarter-final, sandwiched in between those two games against the Manchester Giants. I suppose there is always a concern when you reach the last 8 in the FA Cup and you're relatively safe in the Premier League that maybe you take your eye off the ball and focus begins to turn to that competition. But it's been a very professional performance so far this afternoon.
Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, he's got them working well, hasn't he? Gracia. Their shape's good. They don't go chasing if they know they can't get the ball. Deeney and Delafeu drop off. They're letting the Leicester three centre-halves have the ball. And as I've said to teams, let them have it. They've got to play through 10 players. If you go chasing, they're good players, Leicester. They're good defenders who are good with the ball, and they'll pick you off. So he's got his tactics completely right at the moment because they're winning the game 1-0.
Yeah, the Leicester City players have just re-emerged from the tunnel below us. Still wet and dreary at Vicarage Road. Troy Deeney just going through his neck muscle stretching exercises. His goal that separates the two teams. No change in personnel for the second half. Watford then with Foster in goal, who did take a nasty whack to the face after a collision with Jamie Vardy early in the game. Yanmat Cathcart, Mariappa, who's been excellent, and Holebas in defence. Hughes, Decore, Capu and Pereira make up midfield, with Deeney the goal scorer alongside Delafeu in the forward positions for Leicester. Schmeichel in goal. New look formation under Brendan Rodgers. Back three of Morgan, Evans and Maguire, Ricardo and Chilwell the wing backs, and Didi and Tillemans lying deepest in midfield. Barnes and Maddison supporting Jamie Vardy up front. Vardy, we think, may have lost the two from that collision with Ben Foster. We are off and underway. Watford in the yellow jerseys with the black stripes, shooting from left to right. They're wearing black shorts and black socks. Leicester City all in blue, attacking the end away to our left-hand side where the travelling fans are gathered. Damari Gray going through a pretty vigorous warm-up during the half-time interval. I wonder how long Brendan Rodgers will leave it before introducing the England under-21 player. Of course, Leicester made a pretty lacklustre start the first half. Let's see how they fanfare in this second period. The cross into the Leicester penalty area from Daryl Yanmat, the fullback, headed away and then scooped forward by Barnes. Vardy, who's been well shackled by Mariappa, coming very deep. Mariappa tracked him all the way and it's launched forward towards the halfway line and headed away by Yanmat. Vardy was caught by Mariappa. Free kick right on the halfway line, which is taken quickly by Chilwell, almost finding Madison in between the two central defenders. Important touch by Cathcart with a header, and it's picked up now by Etienne Capoue halfway inside his own half. Watford 1, Leicester 0 for those of you just tuning in. Troy Deeney heading home from a Delafeu free kick after only 5 minutes. And here is Cathcart for Watford. Another player who's had a really good season, Craig Cathcart. Here is Capoue now with the ball forward, looking for Pereira on the left, but over his head and out for a throw-in for Leicester City, which Ricardo the fullback will take. Grazia urging his team forward in the early exchanges of the second half.
Scrappy couple of minutes so far, no real shape or pattern to the start of this second half.
Not the greatest of spectacles, is it?
No, I'm sure it will settle down at some point.
With a hope. Brendan Rodgers, hands in his pockets, just a few yards to the right of Javi Grazia, the diminutive Leicester City manager. Remember, Rodgers failing to win any of his opening games in charge at his 4 previous English clubs: Watford, Swansea, Liverpool and Reading.
Pretty sure he'll be aware of that stat as well.
Came so close, didn't he, to ending Liverpool's long wait for Premier League glory. One Steven Gerrard slip against Chelsea away, really.
Yeah.
Sacked midway through the following season after a Merseyside derby, ironically. Of course, Everton against Liverpool is coming up later on Premier League Live. Liverpool need a win to go back above Manchester City into first place. Everton would love to derail their old enemies' bid for glory. In between that game and this one, we've got Fulham against Chelsea, a West London showdown. Scott Parker, who of course played for Chelsea, in caretaker charge of Fulham following the dismissal of this week of Claudio Ranieri, who won the title at Leicester. Plenty of links throughout our coverage this afternoon. Football is quite a small world, really, isn't it?
It is.
Here's Morgan deep inside his own half for Leicester. Not much happened. Kev Watson, the first 4 minutes since we got back underway.
No, it hasn't. All been scrappy, played between both boxes. In fact, played the majority in and around the halfway line before a free kick or the ball goes astray. So, quiet start to the second half.
This is Johnny Evans, the former Manchester United player, back to Morgan. Playing it out to Maguire, left side of that back 3, given away to Yanmat. Decore can't keep it for Watford, but Yanmat's won it back from Tielemans. Evans steps in and gets Tielemans out of trouble, really. Ricardo then infield for Wilfred Ndidi, who brings it down neatly on the halfway line. Then plays it into the path of Chilwell. Chilwell finding Barnes, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Well, he's back to goal to Ndidi. This is Tielemans in the bright orange boots. Evans coming forward. Thought about the cross. Plays it to the overlapping Ricardo instead. His ball in, deflects off Holibas into the path of Madison. Still coming forward here, Leicester with Barnes, who shoots, blocked by Mariappa, and then headed away by Holibas, but not very far. One back by Ndidi to groans from the home supporters. And here is Ndidi once more. Into Madison, trying to turn away from Cathcart. Helps it out the right, where Ricardo was waiting. Here's Ndidi now. He's going to shoot from a long way out, straight into the arms of Foster.
First bit of real good play. Taken 5 minutes of this second half for it to come to fruition. Never going to score. It's got to be some effort to beat Ben Foster from that range. It's a good strike. He's never going to trouble the Watford stopper there.
2 goals this season for Wilfred Ndidi, the Nigerian. 6 minutes played in the second half. Watford lead 1-0. The ball is launched forward for Delafeu. He's the wrong side of Evans. Evans has to step in and then slides to stop the ball going behind for a corner at the expense of a throw-in over on the left touchline.
Ended up doing well there, Johnny Evans. Watford have got in a couple of times with that back three. When the wing-backs are pushed forward, just dropping lovely little balls over the top for Delafeu and Deeney to run onto.
Rain continuing to fall at Vicarage Road. Olivas just wiping the dampness from the ball with the Watford jersey. Here's Delafeu now into the area. Delafeu's got good feet, finding Pereira with his back to goal, rolls it to the edge of the box, the shot for Decore. Smart save from Schmeichel down low to his left. That ball was moving.
Good play, wasn't it? Really good play. Delafeu driving into the box.
Here's Deeney now in the penalty area. Throws himself to the ground under the challenge from Ndidi. Referee waves away the appeals for a penalty, but this is a good spell for Watford. Olivas clips the ball into the box. Deeney allowed to bring it down. Hughes now can't get away from Ndidi. Timed his tackle well, and it's cleared upfield by Chilwell, but only as far as Janmaat. He's got Decore and Deeney in the middle. Janmaat with the cross over the head of Decore, and then it was a poor clearance by Ricardo straight to Deeney, and then a foul by Pereira, and a free kick for Leicester inside their penalty area.
Good spell for the home team, resulting in that shot. It was a great save from Schmeichel, wasn't it? Little setting up pass. There's a little nudge in the back there from Pereira. No need really when you're on the front foot.
Wasn't a foul from Ndidi, was it? He whipped his leg away in the end.
His foot away, yeah. Quite easy to get caught there. He didn't.
One or two contentious decisions in the Premier League again yesterday. The late penalty that Arsenal missed against Tottenham, many people felt that was simulation from Aubameyang. Hint of an offside about one of Romelu Lukaku's 2 goals for Manchester United. All, of course, incidents that will be looked at by VAR next season. You a fan of that, Kev?
In the right circumstances, yes. I mean, I don't think the Aubameyang one was a penalty.
Would VAR have cleared that up?
Possibly, yeah. Again, it's open to
interpretation.
Yeah, absolutely. So it depends who's looking at it on the day. Harry Kane, I think, was offside before he got the penalty from the ball in. So that definitely would have been given offside. So in the right circumstances, yes.
It's going to be fascinating to see how it pans out, because of course there's no sort of directive from FIFA. The way that the Bundesliga use it, for example, will be different to La Liga and the Premier League as well.
Absolutely, that's correct.
Here is Chilwell for Leicester. Watford fans unhappy because they felt they should have a free kick. Here is Maguire. The referee getting it both barrels from the home supporters. John Moss trying to release Vardy here, but the pass was in front of him and collected by Foster inside the penalty area. Just watching a replay, it was Pereira who scooped the ball forward to Delafeu. Was that a foul by Ndidi?
I think so, yeah. He put his hand in the back of his head and pushed him to the floor.
Abbey Grazia hurled down a water bottle in frustration when the free kick wasn't awarded. A rare show of emotion from him, the Watford manager. Offside flag up here against Watford, so free kick for Leicester. We played 10 second half minutes. It's still Watford 1, Leicester 0. Don't forget the best way to look ahead to a Premier League weekend is subscribing to TalkSport's Premier League Preview Show podcast. It's available every Thursday. Tom Rennie, your host for the most for that one. Any sign of improvement from Leicester early in the second half, Kev?
Not really. It's been much of as you were, wasn't it? Good strike from Ndidi, never going to score. They're having a little bit more of the ball on Watford, but that's just what was happening in the first half.
Here's Ricardo into the area, tries to pull it back. Cleared away by Decore. Positive run though, once more from Ricardo.
That's better, that's what they need. They need players committing the opposition. All that pass in front of them, never going to commit them. It's not going to work. You need players like Ricardo picking it up, running at people.
Tielemans dispossessed on the edge of the Watford penalty area. Strong play from Decore. Ndidi stuck out the toe, but can only divert the ball into Janmaat's path. Here is Hughes now on the halfway line. Underline Decore, midway inside the Watford half. We played 11 minutes off the second half, still 1-0 Watford.
I would imagine we'll get to possibly 60-65 minutes before Brendan decides to change something, whether it's the shape, personnel, because clearly they've hardly created a chance this afternoon, have they?
No, it's been pretty comfortable for that Watford back line. Ben Foster, who has conceded more than 400 Premier League goals, notched that unwanted milestone earlier in the season as been a spectator, really. Here is Deeney on the left corner of the penalty area for Watford, trying to roll it forward for Pereira. Good defending by Ricardo, and then he was fouled by Delafeu. Deeney on the slide as well. I think the free kick had already been given. It will be a free kick for Leicester City, and a chance to alleviate some of the pressure that was just beginning to build there. Here's Maguire, strolling forward towards the halfway line. Chilwell now takes over. Back to Maguire once more. Maguire with a long ball forward, looking for the run of Barnes, headed away by Yanmat, and then a foul by Hughes on Chilwell. This is a free kick in a dangerous position.
See, I don't mind that. Occasionally Harry Maguire, instead of it all being in front of Watford, tries to hit a lovely little ball over the top. The defender can only reach and nod it down, and then Chilwell gets fouled, and all of a sudden they've got a free kick high up the pitch.
And Chilwell and Maddison showing an interest in this. Morgan and Maguire summoned forward from the back. Plenty of height in this Leicester team, and he's good in the air. Evans is forward as well.
Really high line from Watford here. Very much like what Manchester City do, trying to catch him offside.
It's going to be Chilwell this time. Left-footed delivery, lovely ball. Maguire at the back post has helped the ball over the crossbar. I don't think it was a shot. I think he was just trying to play it back into the middle.
Was
underneath the ball
again
and over the bar.
4 of them offside there, to be honest.
Did the assistant flag on the far side? He didn't. Kept his flag down.
Kept his flag down, and that's the problem you have as a defending team when you want to have a high line from in-swinging free kicks or out-swinging free kicks.
You're relying on the officials, aren't you?
You're relying on the officials, and also if you get it wrong, there's a real big area that the player who's taking the free kick can hit, and that can cause you a lot of problems.
Watford 1, Leicester 0. Ben Foster with the goal kick for Watford. Decent purchase on it, flipped forward by Deeney, looking at Delafeu. Maguire holding off the Spaniard, and it's cleared upfield.
It's an industrial clearance there from Harry Maguire, wasn't messing around there.
And Brendan Rodgers still looks relaxed enough, chewing on his gum. Down on the edge of his technical area.
He'll be concerned that his side haven't created any chances or any real chances this afternoon. They've passed it okay. They've not really gone anywhere with the ball, but haven't looked to threat.
Yeah, not really been able to get the supply to Jamie Vardy. Still their main marksman this season, 9 goals. Looking to become only the 7th player in Leicester history to reach treble figures. He's on 98 goals at the moment. Maybe a chance for 99 here, because Barnes is into the penalty area. Up against Mariappa. Around Mariappa, trying to pull it back for Vardy. Defended away by Cathcart. That's on the edge of the 6-yard box.
That's better. Again, it all comes because Harvey Barnes wants to commit defenders and run past them with a ball. He's unlucky in the end. Cross cut out.
Chilwell gives it away to Decore, high up the field. Decore's clearance headed back towards the penalty area by Maguire. This is Yanmat in the right back position. Floats the ball forward towards the halfway line, and Maguire beats Deeney in the air. Deeney wanted a free kick which wasn't given, and then just to add insult to Watford's injury, Capoue penalised for a trip on Maddison. And it will be a free kick now for Leicester City. Yellow card is coming out here for Etienne Capoue. Second Watford yellow of the afternoon, joining Mariappa in John Moss's notebook. Didn't he have a case?
Well, first off, look at that. Morgan taking a ride on Deeney's back. That's a foul to start with. Then Decore comes in. That's high feet. So there's 2 Watford free kicks that should have been given before that. And then Maddison. I don't know. I don't think it's a yellow card.
I think your expression there said it all. 61 minutes play. Watford 1, Leicester 0. A free kick here for Watford to defend with this slender advantage. Tielemans, Maddison and Chilwell are the 3 Leicester players over the ball.
Again, look how high that line is. No wall. They're literally in a line. All of Watford players 10 yards from the ball.
Troy Deeney enjoying some banter with the Leicester fans behind that goal. Maddison floats it forward from Maguire. No real pace on the ball. Here is Maguire on the edge of the area. Left-footed effort, charge down. Here come Watford on the counter. Pereira leading the charge. Forward for Decore. Knocked off his feet, Decore, but still fights Pereira. Delafeu was onside. Deeney's gone scything into Schmeichel. Schmeichel clears the ball away. It's going to be a yellow card for Troy Deeney.
Yeah, that most certainly is a yellow card. He can put his hands up in the air, Troy Deeney, and say what for. But as soon as you start lunging,
he was never going to get the ball first.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. It's unfortunate the ball was overrun. As you can see, those studs are a little bit high off the ground. Collision was going to be inevitable there. Deeney goes into the referee's book.
So a yellow card to add to his first half goal of the afternoon for Troy Deeney, and he's going to have to watch himself now for 28 minutes. He is a combative striker.
He is.
Here is Johnny Evans in the right back position for Leicester. Forward to Ndidi. Showed a bit too much that to Capoue. Wins it back though, Ndidi. Here's Tillemans, midway inside his own half. Out to the left and Chilwell again. And Tillemans forward. And a lovely turn from Maddison. Maddison into the feet of Jamie Vardy. Good defending again by Cathcart. They haven't given Vardy a sniff this afternoon.
He hasn't. Good ball that from Maddison though, wasn't it? Down the side. Good defending from Cathcart. I just think the two boys in the middle of the pitch for Watford, their energy, their commitment, desire, it's second to none.
Here's Chilwell offside as he picked up the ball just on the left corner of the penalty area. Ben Chilwell has made the most sprints in the Premier League this season.
Doesn't surprise me. He's got a lot of energy, hasn't he? Up and down that left-hand side. He'll have to be a fit boy now if Brendan wants to play him as a wing-back, because that is a thankless task.
Looks like Watford are readying Tom Cleverley to come on, just getting his instructions from Javi Gracia. And Demarai Gray also is stripped and ready. Mike Stowell, who took charge against Brighton in the week, was just showing Demarai Gray exactly what's expected from him on a clipboard.
Well, we got that one right, haven't we? It's between 60 and 65, I think we said, and looks like he's coming on. Possibly Harvey Barnes for me, maybe.
Yeah, he's faded out of the game, Barnes, really. Here is Morgan. Looks like a rare 90 minutes under his belt. Wes Morgan, the man, of course, who captained Leicester to that most incredible of Premier League title wins. Cleared by Hughes upfield. Only three survivors in this Leicester City 11 from that Premier League win. Schmeichel, the goalkeeper, Morgan, and Jamie Vardy, of course, who was in the form of his life for a season. Here's Ndidi into the feet of Maddison. One back by Capoue, and this is Pereira down the left-hand side. The drenched Vicarage Road. 65 minutes played. Watford 1, Leicester 0 on Premier League Live. We'll get the team news in a few minutes from our second commentary game. That is Fulham against Chelsea at West London Derby. Scott Parker, the man selecting the Fulham lineup, having been placed in charge until the end of the season following the dismissal of Claudio Ranieri earlier this week. Ryan Sessegnon restored by Scott Parker, having been left out against Southampton. So that starting lineup as Demarai Gray comes on for Harvey Barnes, as predicted by Kev Watson. Strong looking Chelsea side, as you would expect. Eden Hazard, Gonzalo Higuain, both in their 11. Ross Barkley and Willian getting the nod ahead of Pedro. Commentary to come from Craven Cottage. Kick off at 2:05 UK time, so around about 40 minutes time. Demarai Gray coming on for his 59th substitute Premier League appearance. Scored against Brighton. Won't change the system too much.
No, it doesn't look like it, does it?
The First change made by either manager. 65% possession for Leicester in the second half, but still Ben Foster relatively untroubled. They lead 1-0 Watford. Here is Ricardo, the fullback for Leicester, over the halfway line. Gray's first touch is to find Tielemans, who can't guide the ball forward for Ricardo as he intended. It's won back by Pereira, and now Deulofeu sensibly just knocks it back to Foster, the goalkeeper. He tries to find Holibas, but it's headed forward by Ricardo. Cathcart wins it back. Holibas with a heavy touch out of play for a Leicester throw.
Looks like Leicester have almost gone with a 3-2-1 in the middle of the pitch now. Or a 2-3-1 if you like, because Damari Gray looks like he's took himself over to the right. Vardy, for a minute there, looked like he was up top on his own.
A mistake by Schmeichel. Clearance pass straight to Hughes. Here's Decore. 30 yards out, Decore. Into Pereira. Pereira trying to shift the ball onto his right foot. He took too long to get the shot away, and Leicester have it back now with Tielemans. Pereira in August and September cuts inside and smashes that into the corner.
Yeah, I mean, he slowed the ball down, didn't he? He come onto it at pace and then slowed down.
Just looks a bit shy of confidence, Roberto Pereira, after his flying start to the campaign. Here's Holibas, holds off Gray, tries to put it back for Deeney, but it's cleared by Maguire. Throw in for Watford, who just coming on strong in these last couple of minutes.
Yeah, Leicester trying to play out. Paul, good play. Holibas down that left-hand side. Drives, gets away from Gray, gets into the box. They'll ball back. Harry Maguire, under no pressure, passes the ball off the pitch.
He may feel, Holibas, now that Gray, not renowned for his defensive duties, there may just be more space for him to bomb into on that left-hand side. He's going to take the throw. He's gone right to the advertising hoardings to get maximum leverage. There's an altercation between Deeney and Morgan in the penalty area. Referee just going to have a word with Wes Morgan to calm down.
You wouldn't want to be caught between those two, would you?
No course at Arsenal given. It's not Tom Cleverley coming on for Watford, but Andre Gray replacing Gerard Deulofeu.
He's had a good game, Deulofeu. He's not happy about coming off the pitch, is he?
No, shaking his head.
But he's done well.
Set up the goal. Headed in by Troy Deeney after 5 minutes. Andre Gray, only 2 goals in his last 15 matches for the record signing. Is that a reaction to the change that Leicester have made? Because definitely cleverly looked like the player that was being ready.
Yeah, possibly. You never know. But definitely give Watford a bit more of an edge at the top of the pitch now, won't it?
Well, straight away, Gray has joined Deeney in the penalty area to try and attack this long throw from Holibas. Held in towards Deeney. Deeney flicks it on. Volleyed away by Chilwell. Here's Janmaat. Trying to keep Watford on the front foot with Hughes. Does really well to keep it in play. And then a back heel from Gray. Janmaat with a chance to cross. Only Deeney to aim at in the middle. It's headed clear by the towering Morgan. And here's Tielemans now for Leicester. Forward for Maddison, who's got full space down the left-hand side. Janmaat busting a gut to try and get back with him. Oh, he's got Gray in the middle. Vardy to his left. Damari Gray, what can he do from the edge of the area? Shoots left-footed. Ricochets off not one but 2 Watford players, and Decore runs it clear towards the halfway line, where it's guided out to this right-hand side and Hughes by Deeney. Really open game all of a sudden now as Leicester search for this equaliser. Watford looking to hit on the counter-attack. Holibas.
They've gone 3-4-3 now. Leicester, Maddison's playing off of the left. Damari Gray's playing off of the right-hand side. They're swapped at the moment, but that's the general gist of it. Vardy's up top by himself.
Brendan Rodgers doing his best to try and influence proceedings with his tactical tweaks and his substitutions. Leicester have won only one of their last 7 in the Premier League, 4 of their last 14. They're losing this one 1-0. Chilwell tries to play it over the head of Janmaat. Stands tall, Daryl Janmaat, and it's won back by Hughes down by his own corner flag. Plays it infield for Janmaat to clear away. Etienne Capoue now up to Deeney, who lets it run under his studs, but Gray can't hold it up. Tielemans into Maddison. Forward to Tielemans, who's going to shoot right-footed. Well defended by Decore, just took the sting out of the shot with a tackle from behind. And here is Maguire in the left wing position for Leicester, not the role he's accustomed to. Great ball. Maguire into the feet of Maddison. Maddison shifts onto his left foot. Brilliant defending by Capoue, sliding in to block the shot. 19 minutes remain. Leicester searching for an equaliser here. Damare Gray in the white footwear. Now Chilwell down this near left-hand side as we look. We're sat opposite the Sir Elton John stand at Vicarage Road. Brendan Rodgers followed the yellow brick road from Celtic to the King Power Stadium, but so far it's going to be a disappointing start to his Foxes' reign. They trail 1-0. Deeney with a header only 5 minutes into the match from a Delafeu free kick. Only one goal attempt from Watford in this second half, 5 for Leicester, but how many of them has travelled Ben Foster?
One, if I can remember. That was Ndidi's 25-30 yard strike that Foster dealt with quite easily, to be honest. To say, they've rarely threatened. I can't remember the other 4 opportunities off the top of my head, so they obviously wasn't good ones.
Here is Chilwell, still just under a quarter of the match remaining. Plenty of time for Leicester City to get back in the game. Ricardo's cross is blocked by Holebas. He's going to get a second attempt here, Ricardo, but it's overhit over everybody in blue. Great, trying to keep it in, he can't. It will be a Watford throw. End ball at times and let them down, Leicester. They've got into some promising positions.
They have. On the balance of play, you'd probably say that this game should be a draw. But Watford, after that really good first 7 or 8 minutes, have got their noses in front. Now Leicester have got the best part of 18 minutes to try and turn it around.
Well, they defended stoically, Watford, since that early goal from Troy Deeney. You can see why they've only lost 3 of their last 16 matches in all competitions, 2 in 9 in the Premier League. It's a case now really of trying to grind out the 3 points. 3 points that will move them level with 7th place Wolves, 10 points behind Chelsea. I think 7th is the best that Watford can realistically hope for. Leicester will stay 11th, 35 points, 10 clear of the relegation places, so no danger really of Brendan Rodgers' newly inherited side being sucked into that battle.
And there's too many teams struggling down there, isn't there, for the likes of Leicester to get sucked into that.
How many points do you think will keep you up this season? At the moment,
it's always difficult to predict, isn't it? It just depends how the results go. I never like saying it, but historically, what is it? It's about 38, 39, something like that, in and around that mark.
Southampton are on 27.
Yeah.
I think they need 3 wins. 36 points. So they've got a better goal difference. That would mean that Cardiff would need to win 4 of their last 9 matches.
Can't see that happening. I think it's now looking 3 from 4, isn't it?
Crossover hit onto the crossbar, actually. Not sure Ricardo meant that. Foster for a moment was looking nervously over his shoulder as his chest is back to him by Etienne Capoue. It was indeed he actually with a cross into the area.
He didn't seem bothered by it, did he? Foster. He just watches it. Yeah, it's alright. No, it's not. Cannon's off the bar.
Does that go down as a shot off target?
There's probably been that few efforts that they will put it in there, yeah.
Here's Tielemans for Leicester. We've seen plenty of the ball and he's found Jamie Vardy. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper! Jamie Vardy equalises for Leicester City. The first goal of Brendan Rodgers' stewardship. It was a lovely ball by Tielemans to part the Watford defence. Vardy waited for Foster to come and then calmly lifted the ball into the corner. Watford 1, Leicester City 1.
It's a wonderful Leicester goal. Just as Tielemans picked up the ball there, I was watching Vardy's movement. He has no interest in showing to feet. He's on the shoulder. Look, he comes back for an offside position. He's in between 2 centre-halves. Lovely, lovely ball. And once he's in there, it's a great finish under pressure. Outside of the right foot, lifted over Foster. 1-1. And as I said, on the balance of play, you'd probably say this game deserves to be level at the moment.
It's his 10th goal of the season. It's his 99th in Leicester City colours. And Watford, who've done a sterling defensive job, just caught short there by the through ball from Tielemans. And it was a typical Jamie Vardy finish. Brendan Rodgers punches the air on the touchline. Still 14 minutes for Leicester to find a winner.
Great ball, wasn't it, from Tielemans? But as I say, in that position, Jamie Vardy has no interest in showing defeat. He knows he's in between the two centre-halves. He just wants that ball played in behind for him to run onto, which he's proved over the years. That's his forte. And when he gets in, invariably, it ends up in the opposition net.
So no clean sheet for Ben Foster. Fascinating conclusion to this game in store. 13 minutes plus added on time. Watford 1, Leicester City 1. Deeney with a goal after 5 minutes, cancelled out by Jamie Vardy just a minute or so ago. Maddison dispossessed inside his own half by Hollybats. Here's Mariappa now. Yammat with a left foot scoops it over the top. Morgan there ahead of Deeney. Good battle between those two throughout. Tielemans does well to hold off to Corey. Chilwell plays it against Yammat and out for a throw.
He's done well, Tielemans, today. As I say, he's been up against a very combative Watford central midfield pairing in Decore and Capoue. But when he's had the ball, he's used it really well. I like the look of him. He's a cultured midfielder. Clearly has an eye for a pass.
Only on loan from Monaco, may have one or two suitors in the Premier League come the end of the season. Here is Abdoulaye Doucouré for Watford, trying to find a second win here, and we conceded that equalising goal. Hughes now coming in from the right hand side, goes to shoot by the Watford fans. He's going to go all the way across the left hand side, and Hollybats instead. Hollybats with Ricardo for company. Another intriguing contest down that left hand side. Ricardo slides in and pokes the ball out for a throw. Here is Abdoulaye Doucouré once more. Yammat now in the right wing position. Into Hughes, who rolls it forward for Deeney. Can't make it stick though. Kasper Schmeichel takes the touch and then bolts it out to Chilwell, the left back. Attacking that end of the ground where the Leicester fans are mustered. Chilwell looking for Vardy at the far post. It was a good idea. Just sent Vardy slightly too wide. Suddenly Leicester pose a real threat. Here's Ricardo. Vardy now, over on the right touchline. Vardy again into the feet of Evans. I think he's just pulled up Jamie Vardy and indicated to the bench he might have to come off.
I don't know what the problem is.
Here is Tielemans.
He's not moving freely, is he? Can't be his tooth. Won't have that effect, making him limp.
Well, he's being told by Brendan Rodgers to go down. Tielemans in possession for Leicester. Maddison now. Vardy trying to summon some energy to make a run in the penalty area. Maddison's played it out to the right. Ricardo. Here he is again, Maddison. Gray. First time layoff for Maddison. Ricardo. Right corner of the penalty area for Leicester City. 1-1 the score on Premier League Live. Here's Morgan now. Infield for Harry Maguire, the big central defender. Evans. Into the Watford half. Indeedy, lots of possession here for Leicester. Has been the theme of the second half. So Iheanacho is stripped, ready to replace Vardy. They've gone all the way back to Schmeichel, the goalkeeper.
Definitely looking a better team at the moment, Leicester, aren't they? They're more polished, if you like. Passing the ball, keeping it.
Very composed in this second half, Leicester. We mentioned during the interval the number of points they've managed to glean from losing positions. 13 already this season. At the moment looks like they're going to add at least another point to that tally.
I'll say they're looking the more likely at the minute.
Schmeichel with the long ball upfield, over the head of Chilwell and out for a Watford throw. Jamie Vardy has stayed on, but he's down on his haunches inside the centre circle. Looks like Iheanacho is ready. I'm not sure why that change wasn't made when the ball was out of play. Leicester effectively down to 10 men. Well, Leicester want Watford to play the ball out, but they don't need to really, because Leicester could have made that change when the ball was out for a throw. Still Watford continue.
I'm in total agreement. They should have made it when the ball went out, absolutely.
Whereas breaks down on the edge of the area. Indeed, he's played it against Gray, his own man, and then
they can do it.
Cleared into touch on this near side for a throw. Vardy down his haunches, and that will be a worry for Brendan Rodgers, because it looked like that some kind of muscular injury.
It certainly did as he raced after that ball from Chilwell.
It's going to be a double change in actual fact. It's like Papi Mendy as well. The stocky central midfielder will be coming on alongside Iheanacho. Mendy replacing Tielemans, having created the equalising goal. Unusual, isn't it, to see an assistant manager as Mike Stowell is still relaying instructions on a flip chart. Certainly in the Premier League, most have some kind of tablets now with information at their disposal.
Yeah, they do.
How do you do it in non-league? Shout.
Yes, absolutely. We have neither.
The views of the former Tottenham midfielder Kevin Watson here on Premier League Live. Leicester players just taking the opportunity to take on some water.
I mean, all it's for really is substitutions that are coming on, or the substitutes that are coming on, where they are free kicks, corners, for and against, etc. It's easier for players to take on that information through a visual as opposed to just being told, because invariably they'll get it wrong.
Well, this is a sorry sight for Leicester City. Jamie Vardy hobbling off, having scored the equaliser. It was a lovely finish, wasn't it? Into the corner as Foster came to meet him.
It's a great finish, great run, great pass, really good goal.
He's going straight down the tunnel, Vardy. And Kelechi Iheanacho on that wretched run of form. No goals in his last 22 appearances. He's coming on.
He used to be super sub, didn't he, Man City? Every time he come on, he scored a goal. Brendan would like one of those now.
Hasn't quite worked out for him, is it? The King Power, £25 million they paid to sign the Nigerian. Hasn't started a game in the Premier League since early December. Only 2 goals this season.
Disappointing.
Still young, still learning his trade. And as Gray switches the play out to the right for Ricardo. Well, one back by Deeney on the slide, and then he goes to ground, had his heels clipped by Ricardo. It's going to be a booking for the fullback.
That's brilliant. Troy Deeney, absolutely brilliant. That's what gets the crowd going. Things like that. Runs after Ricardo, slide tackle, wins the ball back, gets up, and it's a foul. Ricardo fouls him, simple as that.
First Leicester City booking of the afternoon. First player to be carded with Brendan Rodgers in control. And here comes the free kick for Watford with 7 minutes remaining. 1-1 the score. It's from a not dissimilar position to where they scored the opening goal. It's going to be Holebas and not Delafeu having gone off to take this free kick. Deeney again will be the main target, you would imagine. Holebas with a left-footed ball. Aimed at Gray. It's cleared, and here is Damare Gray for Leicester. And he's going to go long upfield for Iheanacho. And Iheanacho does well, and then poor pass forward for Maddison. It was 2 against 1 momentarily, but Watford get it clear. And then Evans has fallen over, and he's fouled Troy Deeney.
What a chance that was for Leicester, wasn't it? 2 of them, 3 in the middle of the pitch, and they managed between them to mess up what was a glorious opportunity.
Watford have got an injury problem now. Ben Foster just calling on the medical staff. Not sure exactly who the Watford player is who's gone down. I think it was one of those retreating defenders.
It's Holebas, isn't it? I think Damare Gray. Studs catch him in his head. Could be looking at another bit of blood coming from a head injury.
Yeah, Ben Foster still hunched over his teammate as he receives treatment. Jose Holebas.
Another look at it now. Oh, he slips, doesn't he? And then
almost catches the knee of Iheanacho, who was trying to bring the ball out from under his feet.
Fair play to him. He got up, didn't he? Chased the ball back and then worries about it afterwards. Yeah, it's a knee to the side of the head. That's going to be painful.
Yeah, very groggy. Here's Hollybass down on the turf. Just a reminder, 2 more commentaries still to come this afternoon. Fulham against Chelsea first up in around about 20 minutes' time. That's followed by the Merseyside derby. Everton hosting title-chasing Liverpool. Warren B says, good morning from London. Ontario starting the day off right with tea, talk sport and real football. Going to be a great day. Who's saying, says, I don't see Leicester City getting a point in this. Watford to score the next goal. Listening over in Nigeria. That TalkSport Live is our Twitter address. Hollybass back to his feet. He'll have to leave the pitch to come back on as is standard. Looks like he will be in a position though to continue. Just news on that Twitter poll that I've been running all afternoon following Brendan Rodgers' defection from Celtic to Leicester. Who is the bigger club? 57% of you said Celtic, 43% Leicester. Thanks to everyone who got involved in that. Watford restart with a free kick played towards the penalty area. Deeney felt he was being manhandled by Maguire, so did the Watford fans, but referees had a good game by and large. Ways play on. Here's Gray down the left-hand side for Watford. Leicester got bags of pace. Damare Gray plays it out to Ricardo on the opposite right-hand side. Be mended. Forward once more to Gray. Here is Ricardo with 87 minutes on the clock. There will be some added on time for the injuries.
I think there'll be one more chance in this.
Madison to Chilwell. Just trying to guide it into the path of Iheanacho on the edge of the 6-yard box, but slightly too close to Ben Foster.
It's unlucky, wasn't it?
Good ball from Madison initially.
Really good, yeah, inside the fullback.
Just watching a replay of the coming together between Maguire and Deeney.
He's not going to get anything for that, is he? He's at it as well. Troy Deeney, he knows he is. Look, he's a handful. You wouldn't like to mark him, that's for sure.
Well, speaking to Nathan Ake down at Bournemouth earlier in the season, had a spell on loan at Watford. He described Deeney as a monster. That's a pretty good description, to be honest. Had a good career. Here's Chilwell in the penalty area, trying to pull it back from Madison. Cleared by Janmaat. And then Abdoulaye Doucouré runs the ball out of touch on this near side. Leicester finishing the stronger.
There's always one more chance at the end of a game. Who's it going to go to? It's looking like it's Leicester. I can't see the game just petering out without one more chance.
This is Wes Morgan for Leicester. Restored to the team today under Brendan Rodgers. Repaid the faith so far. Here is Evans. Back to Morgan. Furthest man back towards the Leicester penalty area. Now Maguire takes over the halfway line. Bit of room to run into down this left-hand side. Chilwell on the overlap. Crosses into the area. Over Iheanacho. And then Roberto Pereira, under no real pressure, turns it behind for a corner.
He's been brilliant, Chilwell, hasn't he? Really, really good.
Always asking questions down that left touchline, and they may ask questions with his set piece as well.
He's been terrific out on that left-hand side, and he's got real quality with that left foot.
And Watford have conceded 13 goals from set pieces this season already. Madison with a corner from the right. Evans is up well, but he's headed behind by Mariappa. Will be another corner into the last minute of the 90. 1-1 the score.
It's Leicester that are asking the questions, isn't it? There'll probably be 2 or 3 minutes, I would imagine, added.
Yeah, lots of changes and that injury delay as well to Hollybass and Vardy, of course.
Could be looking at 4 minutes possibly.
Here comes the corner for Leicester. Plethora of blue shirts in the penalty area from Madison to Aymat. Bit deep towards the far post. Evans tries to keep it alive. And then Ndidi into the feet of Chilwell. Now Madison taking on Janmaat. Shifting one way and then the other. Good cross to the far post. Morgan was out for it. And he couldn't make contact with a header. Well, that would have been some story.
And there's your chance. There's your chance. Always one towards the end of a game. Brilliant from Madison. Little chop on Janmaat. Left-footed cross ice on a plate. Wes Morgan has to score. It's as simple as that. What a cross from Madison on his left foot. Oh, possibly the defender just puts him off and he loses the flight of the ball. But that needs to be a goal, Wes.
Brendan Rodgers was heading it in. Down on the touchline. Change for Watford. Will Hughes is replaced by Cleverley.
He wouldn't have been tall enough, Brendan, to get on the end of that cross.
I don't think he scored many headers, did he? In his playing days. Change there for Watford then, cleverly on. Hughes off. We're into 4 added minutes. 30 seconds have elapsed already. It's Watford 1, Leicester City 1. At the moment, this run of Brendan Rodgers failing to win his first game as manager of any of his English clubs is going to continue. He's already taken a point, 1-0 down after 5 minutes though. Ricardo clears upfield for Leicester. Iheanacho trying to read the bounce of the ball, but Mariappa there first to just cushion him back towards Foster. And then Foster clears the ball over the halfway line for Watford. Deeney chesting the ball down. And then a foul by Pereira on Ricardo, the wing back.
Yeah, it's a foul. He's eased him out of the way so Deeney can get in onto the ball down the left-hand side.
Not been his best afternoon, is it, Roberto Pereira?
No, the game's passed him by a little bit, isn't it? Can't remember mentioning him too often this afternoon. Most passenger in this Watford team today.
Draw, just about the fair result?
I was just about to say, yeah. I mean, we said, didn't we, just before the Leicester goal that a draw, or the teams to be drawing at that point, would possibly have been the correct scoreline, and it looks like it's going to finish that way. I think an honourable draw, yeah. I don't think either team have done enough to win the game.
Might be a winner yet though, because it's a chance here for Gray inside the penalty area. Heartbreak for Brendan Rodgers. Watford have won it in stoppage time. Andre Gray off the bench, the hero for Watford. Javi Gracia celebrates on the touchline. Brendan Rodgers looks at the turf. It's going to be defeat for him in his first game in charge, and it was all their own making. Indeed, he gave the ball away. It was played forward to Gray. It's a brilliant finish, and in the 92nd minute, it's Watford 2, Leicester City 1. It came from a poor kick by Schmeichel.
Well, just as we said, neither team's done enough to win the game. Watford and Andre Gray turn up in the 92nd minute to win the game. And it's great to see that Troy Deeney had a hand in it. Really clever play. As it comes into him, all he does is leave a lovely little ball over the top of the Leicester back three. Gray runs onto it, and what a finish. Under Schmeichel. Do they deserve it? I don't know. Possibly not. I thought the game was petering out into a draw, which I think would have been a fair result. But Watford and Andre Gray have turned up right at the last knockings to win the game.
Third goal of the season for Andre Gray. The one that surely spoils hopes of Brendan Rodgers making a winning start as Leicester City manager. There will barely be enough time for the Foxes to get the game restarted.
Well, they've looked so comfortable, haven't they, Leicester, for the last 20-25 minutes, and you couldn't see that coming, but you've got to be switched on the whole time.
Well, here's Ricardo looking to carve a chance at the other end. Well done, Foster. Cleared the ball with his legs at the near post. Yellow card for Gray, by the way, presumably over his celebrations. Needless booking in the 94th minute. Will there be one last chance for Leicester City? How costly now that wasted opportunity that Wes Morgan had.
Well, we thought there was going to be one more chance. It turned out there was two. Watford have taken theirs and Leicester didn't.
Might be three yet.
Yeah, maybe.
Although the added time is almost up. Evans down the line for Gray. They need to get the ball into the penalty area, Leicester. Mendy trying to do that. Out to Gray on the right hand side. One last cross from him. It is behind for a corner.
Will we see Schmeichel coming up here? I don't see any reason why not. Yeah, here he comes.
Well, his dad scored a couple of goals, didn't he, from set pieces during his playing days. Here comes Kasper Schmeichel. What a story this would be. Surely the last action of what's been a pulsating second half. Maddison's corner. Behind Schmeichel, Maguire back out to Maddison. Schmeichel stayed forward. Maddison with a cross towards Kasper Schmeichel, and it's headed away by Mariappa. Pereira completes the clearance but doesn't get very much on it. Maddison, Schmeichel's still there. Maddison with a low cross, and Foster again kicks it clear with the legs, and Deeney's shot blocked. Surely that's it. Referee still hasn't looked at the watch, but it's played out for a throw. And there is the full-time whistle. It's a losing start for Brendan Rodgers as Leicester City manager in quite dramatic fashion after Jamie Vardy had struck to cancel out Troy Deeney's 5th minute header. Andre Gray off the bench to win it in stoppage time after a mistake from Schmeichel. And here's how we brought you the winning goal on Premier League. Won't be a winner yet though, because it's a chance here for Gray inside the penalty area. Heartbreak for Brendan Rodgers. Watford have won it in stoppage time. Andre Gray off the bench, the hero for Watford. Javi Gracia celebrates on the touchline. Brendan Rodgers looks at the turf. It's going to be defeat for him in his first game in charge, and it was all their own making. Indeed, he gave the ball away. It was played forward to Gray. It's a brilliant finish, and in the 92nd minute, it's Watford 2, Leicester City 1. It came from a poor kick by Schmeichel.
Well, just as we said, neither team's done enough to win the game. Watford and Andre Gray turn up in the 92nd minute to win the game. And it's great to see that Troy Deeney had a hand in it. Really clever play. As it comes into him, all he does is leave a lovely little ball over the top of the Leicester back three. Gray runs onto it. And what a finish under Schmeichel. Do they deserve it? I don't know. Possibly not. I thought the game was petering out into a draw, which I think would have been a fair result. But Watford and Andre Gray have turned up right at the last knock-ins to win the game.
Well, Kev said it there. What a finish from Andre Gray. What a finish to the game. What a start for Brendan Rodgers. Not the one he was hoping for.
Not the one he was hoping for. And I didn't see that Watford winner coming. I really didn't. It looked like Leicester were going to go on, if anyone, to win the game. They were in control of it. They had the more possession. They were pushing forward. But Schmeichel kicking the ball out to the middle of the pitch, gets returned. It's good play from Deeney. It's clever play. My man of the match did not stop running. You need players like that in your team. It epitomises what Watford are all about. And they've gone on and won the game.
It was clearly the tactic that Brendan Rodgers wanted to deploy, because we saw Evans and Maguire and Morgan all trying to play their way out from the back. Schmeichel did it right at the end. Sometimes, though, you just need to lump the ball upfield, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know why you're trying to pick players out in the middle of the pitch. You're asking for it to be returned. You're out of shape. They were well out of shape, and that's that proof, because as Deeney returns it, the back three are all over the place. And I think it might have even been Chilwell that's trying to chase him across the pitch, or Harry Maguire, I'm not sure who, but never going to get there. So just take the draw, get the ball up the pitch, take the draw, run the clock down, and you get off to a non-losing start.
What positives will Brendan Rodgers take from that?
I think they dominated most of the game with the possession they had. Did they create a lot of chances? No. The one they did, it couldn't have fell to a better player. Wes Morgan had the header, which he should have scored with. Apart from that, not many chances. So I think he'll be working on how this team he's got, full of good players, can create more opportunities.
And Watford's best ever Premier League season goes on. They are level on points now with 7th place Wolves. Leicester stay in the bottom half of the table. My thanks to Kev Watson for his expert analysis on this game this afternoon. Watford leaving it late before claiming all 3 points to spoil the party as far as Brendan Rodgers is concerned. Andre Gray with a winner in stoppage time after Jamie Vardy had shrugged to cancel out Troy Deeney's 5th minute header. Deeney, man of the match for Kev. Difficult to argue that. He absolutely dominated that Leicester back line, and once again has come out on the winning side. 2 more matches to come, remember, this afternoon on Premier League Live. The Merseyside derby, Everton against Liverpool, who need a win to go back to the top of the Premier League. That's at 4:15. First up, though, in around about 10 minutes' time, Fulham against Chelsea. Andrew Self and Rufus Brevitt will bring you that on Premier League Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends a shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent
magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Cardiff City legend Danny Gavidan joins us on the preview show. He's got some new teeth. The former Millwall captain Matt Lawrence with us on the preview show. Former Liverpool striker Neil Mellor is on the preview show this week.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
Premier League Live with TalkSport.
This is a golden chance, and Marcus Rashford doesn't need a second invitation.
The only way to listen to the world's most exciting league outside the UK and Ireland.
It's a big chance here for West Ham, and they've got the equalising goal. A brilliant free kick right off the training ground.
We've got every single goal, every single weekend of the season.
Son to shoot, goal! Tottenham Hotspur have broken through.
English football at its finest.
Square pass to Kante, and now a brilliant finish from Gonzalo Higuain.
Premier League Live with TalkSport.
Hello and welcome to TalkSport's coverage of Fulham versus Chelsea here at Craven Cottage. I'm your host Andrew South, and alongside me I'm glad to say is former Fulham defender Rufus Brevett, and you are listening to Premier League Live. So now it's post Claudio Ranieri for Fulham. Owner Shahid Khan and the Tinkerman parted company on Thursday after the 2-0 defeat against Southampton, leaving the Cottagers some 10 points off of safety. I think we have to start by asking the man alongside me, Rufus Brevett, did the twice Premier League winner Ranieri really have a chance when he came into the Fulham job?
It was very difficult. He's coming into a team that conceding goals, the confidence was down, and he didn't really improve it. So, they've got rid of him. Scott Parker come in, we'll see what he can do.
Absolutely. Now, howls of derision after the substitutions of fans' favourite County and McDonald on Wednesday night. Was it a case in the end that the Tinkerman was caught cold in trying too much with this squad?
Well, I think it's with defensively, it's changing things all the time. The formations, the players, there was never a setback for. So no one really knew what they were doing, and you saw that in the way that they defended. And it was. His time was up.
His time was up. Well, today the side is in the capable hands of Scott Parker, possibly until the end of the season, maybe after that. But after nearly £100 million worth of transfer fees paid out at the start of the season, it has been a little short of a disastrous campaign since the very first kick. And on Wednesday, they really only had one shot on target, which crashed against the Saints crossbar. Well, that was via a deflection. For Maurizio Sarri's side, Chelsea, after last weekend's loss to Manchester City on penalties in the Carabao Cup final amidst keeper gate, I'd have to say. They return to winning ways against Spurs at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday. And again, I'll come back to you, Rufus. What is it, in your opinion, that seems to unsettle so many managers with this squad? We had Mourinho win the title, and then they sort of flopped, and then we had Conte win the title, and then it was a drab second season, and now we've got Sarri and player unrest. Is it all about manager motivation, or is the players ruling the roost?
Well, I think when you look at it, you know, with Manchester United, you know, the players, if you upset them, then, you know, they can just literally just run it, you know, and managers don't really have a chance. I think you've got to literally put your arm around them and be nice to them. That's how it seems anyway.
I've got to say, Rufus, back in your day, some of the managers you would have played under, you started with Billy Bremner, there's one for you. I'm sure they wouldn't be cuddling if you'd done something wrong. Definitely, but you know, back then you could take a rollicking and take it in how it was meant to take. Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a little look at the team news here from Craven Cottage. Scott Parker makes just one change to that lineup that lost away at Southampton, with Ryan Sessegnon coming in for Frank Ongisa, so they will line up with Sergio Rico in goal. A back four from right to left of Odoi, Nordveit, Ream and Bryant on the left side. He played quite well. Ryan Sessegnon just in front. The engine room will be McDonald and Chambers, rather a defensive setup there. Tom Carney on the right. Ryan Babel and Alexander Mitrovic is at the top of the park. They'll be wearing their traditional white shirts, black shorts and black socks. For Chelsea in goal, Kepa Arrizabalaga is back. Left to right with a back four, Emerson, Andreas Christensen, Antonio Rudiger, Cesar Azpilicueta, who is the captain. Then they have three across the middle of the park: Ross Barkley, Jorginho and N'Golo Kante. Eden Hazard, Higuain and William are the front three. It's safe to say that if somebody's going to test the Fulham rearguard today, Eden Hazard and co are going to pull them all over the place. Yeah, definitely. And you know, you've seen with them that defensively they have had a problem defensively this season, and you know they'll be tested to the limit today, because they're playing against three players that can be very, very effective in the final third. One of the big questions I've got to go back for, as a player's mentality here, they're 10 points off of safety. Can Fulham start playing under Scott Parker a bit of freedom football? I think that's what he'll look to do. I think he would have said to them, look, no one expects them to get anything today. Just go out there and express yourselves, and more importantly, work hard for each other, because I don't think they've been doing